Mojave friends, macOS VM on macOS using QEMU open source hypervisor powered with Apple's HVF framework, which means it is going to be hardware accelerated. And I assume at this point of time that you have a recent installation of macOS and you have installed QEMU using Homebrew through the command line. Let's get started. We are going to use this guide, the Dhiru Kholia guide, available on GitHub. It's an open source guide and they are very kind to share this guide with us. It says run macOS on QEMU KVM, but on Mac we don't have KVM, but we are going to use QEMU. If we come down and check the requirements, they say that we need a modern Linux distribution, but as I said, we are on a relatively new Mac distribution. I am running Catalina and we need a QEMU greater than 4.2.0, and your CPU must support Intel VTX or AMD. That means it must support virtualization, and a relatively modern CPU should suffice. Coming down, we have the installation preparation section where we need to find and install the packages relevant to the installation. Now this command is for Ubuntu, but we are going to modify it for macOS. So if you have Homebrew installed, this is the command you need, and we are just going to install the packages from Homebrew that make sense for us, and we are not going to install the Ubuntu packages. I tried the other packages and they were not available, so I had to find out what was available on Homebrew, and this is what we need. All right, now we are done. Let's move on. And moving on, it says add the user to KVM and libvirt group. It might be needed, but we are not on Ubuntu, so there's no KVM and no libvirt. I mean, we are not on Linux, we are on macOS. So forget that. Coming down, this is the repository we need to clone, and after cloning, we'll cd into that repository. So it says go to the home directory, but okay, you can choose whatever you want. So we copy this path and we'll change into the directory. So I am in my home directory and I changed it into a directory called QEMU, and as you can see there, I pasted the command and I am cloning the repo which will help us install OS X using on OS X. And I have made video about Windows 10 and Windows 11 also, so if you guys are interested, you can watch it on my channel, and even with Manjaro. All right, so those are the three folders there, and I like to keep my installations separate, so separate folders. And this, by default, we create a separate folder and we are done. It will call the folder will be named OSX QEMU. So I'm not going to change into these folder. Next up, we need to pull the latest updates if we have not. So we can do that using git pull -- revise. I mean, yeah, I'm really slow on the command line, so guys, please. All right, so it seems that we are already up to date. All right, next up, we need to fetch the macOS installer, that macOS base image which we are going to install. And it says here you can install High Sierra, Mojave, Catalina, Big Sur, Monterey. So I'm going to go with Catalina in this video. The reason you'll find it in the end, and trust me guys, I have went through the entire round robin league. So I started with Monterey, went to Big Sur, Catalina, Mojave, and finally I'm showing you High Sierra. Why, you may ask? You will find out at the end of the video if you have that much patience. So this is going to download the base system, the .dmg file, but we need to convert it to an IMG format, and QEMU is kind enough to do that. For that, we need to issue a command. Let's see what the command is there in the guide, and the command is here: QEMU convert base system.dmg to base system.img. And it says on the note there, the modern NVIDIA GPUs are supported on High Sierra, but not on later versions of macOS, obviously. The web drivers are not sufficient. Okay, so I've copied the command, and let's move on and paste there, and we'll wait for some time, and the conversion is done. All right, moving on. Now we need to create a virtual hard disk. So we got the base system, we need the hard disk on which we will actually install our macOS, right? And that is also going to be created by QEMU. So copy the command, but I'm going to modify it a little. So I'm going to say QEMU img, create a disk for me, and the format is going to be QCow. So I'm not blindly pasting from there, and there are going to be some changes in the script, that is so in the format of QCow, and name the disk macOS High Sierra very imaginatively. Okay, and High Sierra, if I can type today, Q, and have an extension QCow2 because I'm creating in the format of QCow2, and I'm going to give it 500 gigs. Now we have created the hard disk. It is recommended that you create this hard disk on a fast SSD or NVMe disk. And now it says you're ready to install macOS, and that rocket there. I mean, I really like that rocket there. That's why, I say lift off, lift off. All right. It says installation. Just run the opencore script, and this is the script we need to run. No, the guide says that this is not the script for macOS. The script is different. It says you're all set and please start clapping. So I can get rid of my Firefox, and I'm going to change the script, the discussion of which I'm going to put off till the end. So guys, you guys can enjoy the video with me till the end, and I'm going to modify it, but discussion is going to be in the end. Okay, so this is the script, the OpenCore boot macOS script. After the modifications have been done, we are going to check the script and let's run it. And it says permission denied, so we are going to make it executables by saying chmod plus x OpenCore. I mean, don't worry guys, I'm going to discuss the entire script, but I have just kept it till the end. First, I'm going to show you the installation, and then we're going to discuss. Now, so I'm going to get rid of Satan by saying Auzubillahi minash shaitani rajim, and invoke the blessings of Allah by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And we have started. Yes, and you see it says my CPU doesn't support the requested features. There are going to be some ramifications for that. I mean, it's going to be slow, and this is the screen that it boots up to. You can move it around with your keys, keyboard keys, and hit enter on the base installer. And from now on, you guys have, I mean, all of us have to be patient. I mean, patience is the name of the game. At least for me, you guys will have a different experience because your configuration is going to be different. For my super fast, high profile macOS installed computer, it took quite some time. Landing on the screen, select the disk utility and click on continue. When the disk utility loads up the disk, you will see, let me bring it to the center again. You will see the different disks that you have on your system. Select the disk appropriate based on the size. I mean, don't select the wrong disk. It says QEMU hard disk media. You remember the 500 gigs? So name your disk. I'm going to name it again High Sierra hard disk, and make sure it is macOS extended journal for High Sierra, at least for High Sierra and Mojave. From Catalina, you can select APFS. Okay. Now click on reinstall macOS and click on continue, and once you're on the screen, we'll click on agree, and again click on agree again, and then we'll wait for some time. You select the disk there, it says High Sierra hard disk, and select the appropriate disk and click on install. All right, again, patience is the name of the game. Again, a couple of reboots and you will be on this screen. Now you can't leave your installation unattended, otherwise it will go back to installing macOS again, the installer again. So you need to select the appropriate hard disk, and you're thinking, why am I outside? Because I could not record it with the inbuilt recorder. As I said, I have one of the fastest machines of macOS machine on earth. Don't mind the screen, guys. It's a damage, but this is my passion. I mean, and my passion culminates in creating videos for you. Okay, so we selected the country and we moved on to select our keyboard. And you see, guys, I don't even have the entire screen. So shake hand with Roberto Ferraghi for privacy. Oh, I forgot his name again. Okay, so and I'm just hitting, you know what, I'm hitting tab, 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 and next. And I mean, because this is like a 13-inch screen, so I can't get the entire installation screen. Okay, so transfer information to this Mac. I don't want to transfer anything right now, so I'm going to select next. I can't even see my screen, right? I mean, trust me, guys, I'm just doing next, like I'm hitting the space key to select it. I mean, you can select it with your mouse probably. So set up later. I don't want an Apple ID right now. And click on skip, and we'll click on skip, and we will skip creating an Apple ID. I don't want to mess up my installation by creating an Apple ID right now. I'm going to probably create it later on. So okay, terms and conditions, do whatever you think is right for you. I'm not responsible. Okay, create a computer account, and full name, just give your name, my name, as you can see on the screen there, and his express setup, then more. Enable location services. No, I don't want to enable location services on this Mac as of now. So let's click on don't use, and it's it's really nostalgic to install like High Sierra on after so much time. So select your time zone, and I don't want to share Mac Analytics, my analytics with Mac Analytics with Apple, and it is setting up my Mac, and hopefully we are going to see something shortly. Yeah. See guys. Okay, so your mileage will vary. Okay, so keyboard assistant setup, and it froze on the screen, so I plugged in my USB keyboard externally, and you'll see it's detected the second keyboard correctly. So I'm going to click on continue, and I'm going to identify this keyboard. So the key immediately to the right of the shift key on the left side of the keyboard, immediately to the left on the right side of the keyboard, and it detected the ANSI keyboard correctly. And since it detected that keyboard correctly, I'm just going to get rid of it, and it finally detected, but I don't have any display, guys, so I'm going to reboot. And after reboot, I came to the screen, and I'm going to enter my password. I'm going to wait for the UI. I mean, as I say, I'm using a tripod as of now, but I thought, I just gave up, and all of a sudden I got UI. So now I'm going to say lift off, lift off. We have a lift off. I mean, we have some screen here, but I can move this QEMU installation on, and I can click inside, but I'm not getting a very responsive system. But I mean, your mileage will vary. I mean, if you have 32 gigs, allocate 16 gigs of RAM. If you have like 32 cores, it's 16 cores, allocate 8 cores. So you will have a responsive system, but you can see my system is not responsive, but we have we have installed macOS VM on macOS using QEMU open source using Apple's Hypervisor Framework. And where we are going to use Hypervisor Framework is, yes, now that I think all the fun is over, let's move on to the script. Okay, so as promised, this is the script, and I'm going to show you where we are going to use Hypervisor Framework. I have not written the script. This script is also written by the guys it's in the Dhiru Kholia repo. So change the RAM that you need to you want to give to the machine. I just have 8 gigs of RAM, so I am going to allocate 4. Why? Because Mac takes up like 2 gigs, and then the recording software will take up a couple of megs, so I can just allocate 4 gigs of RAM. If you have 32 gigs, allocate 8. Now, depending upon your CPU configuration, you might have like threads, you have different threads, different number of sockets and cores. So change this line there where it says SMP CPU threads. Okay, I have like 4 threads, so I could allocate it for 2 only. Okay, so that is why what you saw there. Okay, now this is the line we need to change. Remember, drive ID Mac HDD, we did not create that name, that same name. The name that we gave was macOS High Sierra, so we are going to just change the name there. Just a couple of changes, but very vital, otherwise it will not boot up. Okay, so macOS High Sierra, if you guys can remember the name correctly, High Sierra dot QCOW2. All right, QCOW2, and just let's delete the IMG part. Okay, now again, coming down, this is the place where I had to do R&D for like a couple of days, guys. I mean, trust me, I mean, this is my passion, that's why I'm showing it. Right? I was really at the end of my wits why the network card was not working. So after a couple of days of R&D, I found that the High Sierra will not support this network card. The network card it will support is this. Everything remains same. All you need to do is change the device, the network device, because Mac High Sierra doesn't have the VirtIO Net PCI drivers. The driver, the device that it supports and the drivers that it has for QEMU is this E1000-82545EM. I mean, I don't know who gave this wonderful name while creating this device. I mean, some dev must be like really pissed off to give this kind of name. Anyways, So, and that's it. And you can change the VGA memory to 256, and you see the Apple HVF, Axel HVF, that is the Apple's hypervisor framework, which is the accelerator. So, we are hardware accelerated, guys. And just in case you thought I was lying and I did not try Monterey, this is the screen that I got, and I couldn't get past the screen. As you can clearly see, I am country hopping on this screen. At least this screen only, but I just could not get it to this screen. So thank you guys so much. Take care, stay safe, see you next time. Bye bye.